Hey everyone, this is Anam. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be discussing the summary of A Truly Beautiful Mind from the book Beehive of Class 9. A Truly Beautiful Mind is a short biography of Albert Einstein, who was a German scientist and theoretical physicist. He mainly researched in the fields of mathematics and physics. In 1921, he received Nobel Prize for Physics. In this lesson, we are going to read about mainly four aspects of his life: his early life and childhood, his interest in mathematics and physics, his personal life, and most importantly, the humanitarian aspect of his personality. We all know that Einstein was a genius. But he didn't only use his mind for the advancement of science and technology. He also contributed a lot for the betterment of human race, which is why the title A Truly Beautiful Mind is fully justified, because yes, indeed, he had a beautiful mind. First of all, let's talk about his early life. Einstein was born on 14th March in 1879 in the German city of Ulm. Most of the children start speaking at the age of 1 or 1.5, but Einstein couldn't speak till the age of 2.5. And when finally he started speaking, he spoke every word twice, which was quite strange. His own mother thought that he was crazy, he was abnormal. And since Albert was an introvert, all his playmates called him Brother Boring. Nobody wanted to play with him. Poor Albert played by himself much of the time. He was mainly interested in mechanical toys. It is said that when his sister Marja was born, he asked his mother, "Fine, but where are her wheels?" This shows his interest in machines and mechanical toys. He wanted wheels and buttons on everything. His early school days. Like I said, Einstein was born in Ulm, which is a small town. When Einstein was 15 months old, his parents moved to Munich. And he started going to school at Munich only. He didn't have a good time at school because all his teachers judged him just because he was different than other children. Once, his headmaster told his father that no matter what Einstein did, but he would never be successful at anything. They all misunderstood Einstein and they thought that they had a negative attitude towards everything, but that's, of course, it wasn't true. When Einstein was about six, he began learning to play the violin. His mother sent him to violin classes because she thought that if he's not performing good at studies, perhaps he could do better in the field of arts. So yeah, that's how he started learning. But he loved playing violin, and all his life he was an amateur violinist. Amateur means a person who pursues his interest as a hobby and not professionally. So we were talking about his school. He wasn't a bad student, he was a good one, and he got good marks in almost all the subjects. But he had clashes with his teachers quite often because he did not like the outdated methods which they used for teaching. For example, he didn't believe in memorizing the facts. He believed in practical knowledge, which really helped the children to think, not just to cram something. Secondly, he didn't like the strict regimentation at the school. Strict regimentation means a military level of discipline. So obviously he liked discipline, but he used to think that children should be given freedom at least to ask questions, right? So all these things suffocated him. And when he was about 15, he decided to drop out. After leaving this school, he moved to Switzerland and he joined another school. The environment at his new school was quite liberal in comparison to his previous school. After completing his high school, he decided to study at a university at Zurich, Switzerland. Einstein was highly gifted in mathematics, but he decided to pursue his interest in physics and he joined Zurich University. Well, at the Zurich University, physics wasn't the only thing that appealed to young Einstein. He fell in love with a fellow student. Her name was Mileva Maric. She was very intelligent and clever. She was from Serbia and she had come to Zurich University because at that time, Zurich University was one of the few which provided graduation degrees to women. Einstein saw a friend in her against the Philistines. So he used to call all those people in his university who did not appreciate art and literature. He used to call them Philistines. But Mileva was different. She understood Einstein. So he saw a true friend in her. At the age of 21 in 1900, he completed his graduation. But he couldn't find a good job for 2 years. So during this time, he worked as a teaching assistant and he also gave private tuitions. In 1902, finally, he got a job. He started working as a technical expert in a firm at Berlin. So it was purely an office job, a desk job. He had to sit at one place for the whole day and he was supposed to be assessing the inventions of other people. So he used to study the inventions and he had to submit his reports. So while he was doing that work, secretly, he also started researching on physics, on the topics that he was reading in his university. So whatever time he could spare in his office hours, he used to utilize that time to continue his own research in the field of physics. He called his desk drawer Bureau of Theoretical Physics. Now, this is an important question which is frequently asked in exams. Why did Einstein call his drawer Bureau of Theoretical Physics? The answer to this question is, like I said, at office, whenever he found spare time, he started researching on his work. So all the papers that he used to write, all the important stuff that he used to have related to his research, he used to keep it safe and secure in his desk drawer. So this was the reason he called his drawer Bureau of Theoretical Physics. All his hard work paid off. In 1905, when his papers were published on special theory of relativity, the famous formula came from this theory only, E is equal to mc square. You must have studied this formula in physics also, E is equal to mc square. When his papers got published, he got recognition, people started recognizing him, and his works were widely acclaimed, both by the scientist community as well as by the media. While he was having success in his professional life, his personal life was suffering. He wanted to marry Mileva, but his mother was against it. The reason being that Mileva, she was 3 years older than him, and she was also bothered by her intelligence. She said, "She's a book, just like you." Einstein's mother wanted a homely girl for Einstein who could look after him, right? But Mileva, she was nothing of that sort. She was just like Einstein. So his mother was against it and he didn't want to hurt his mother, so he called off the marriage. He cancelled it. The couple finally married in 1903. They had 2 sons, but unfortunately, their marriage failed. They divorced in 1919. In the same year, Einstein married his cousin Elsa. In 1915, his second major research paper was published on general theory of relativity. And all his assumptions that he made related to this theory about gravity and everything proved to be accurate in 1919 after a sun eclipse. Shortly after that, in 1921, he received Nobel Prize for Physics. In 1933, when Adolf Hitler's party came in power in Germany, Einstein moved to the United States of America. He moved to the USA because he didn't want this party, they were extremist, they were fascist, so he didn't want them to use his works, his research for destruction works. So he had to move to USA, and there were so many other scientists also living there, they also moved. In 1938, after 5 years, Germany found a way to make atomic bomb with the discovery of nuclear fission. All the scientists got worried, including Einstein. He was the one who wrote to the American president in 1939 a letter. Franklin Roosevelt was the president of America at that time. He wrote a letter warning about the destruction which a single atom bomb could cause. Despite his warnings, the Americans secretly developed atomic bomb and dropped it on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. It was during the Second World War. It caused massive destruction. Everything was destroyed in these two cities. Einstein was deeply hurt. Shaken by the extent of the destruction caused by these bombs, he wrote a public missive to the United Nations. Public missive is an open letter which public can also read. In his letter, he proposed to form a world government. He didn't want such kind of wars to happen again, so he wanted to make a world government who could look after these kind of issues. But his letter made no impact. Over the next decade, he got more involved in politics. He agitated for an end to the arms buildup and nuclear weapons. He traveled to so many countries and he tried to tell the leaders of those countries that they should not use these kind of nuclear weapons because they will cause massive destruction. He also campaigned for peace and democracy. Einstein died in 1955 at the age of 76. But he was celebrated as a true visionary and world citizen. Visionary because all his assumptions about the usage of these destructive weapons and bombs, they were all accurate. World citizen because Einstein was from Germany, but he worked not just for Germany but for the whole world. He worked for the betterment of humanity. So he was a world citizen in the true sense. So yeah, that's all about it. That was the summary of a truly beautiful mind. I hope you must have understood. If you liked the video, then please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you.